Hey everybody, it is all NFL Rivalries uniform this week on the SportsLogos.Net podcast. That's it for the intro. Episode 26. Here we go. Hey everybody, Chris Creamer from SportsLogos.Net here, joined as always by Paul Caputo here for episode 26 in the year 26, dropping on the 26th of the SportsLogos.Net podcast, 26, 26, 26. Paul, are you a numerology fan?
I sure am, Chris. And I'm going to assume that the first thing that you do on Wednesday morning is listen to this podcast before you say hello to your wife or your
Yes,
children. You listen to
absolutely.
the podcast, and therefore, the first non-Chris Creamer voice that you are going to hear on Wednesday, August 26th,
Mm-hmm.
is mine. And
Yes.
therefore, let me here on this podcast be the first to wish you a happy August 26th birthday and a happy 26th episode of the SportsLogos.Net podcast. Chris Creamer, happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Paul Caputo. If only I was turning 26 this year, that would have been a very good 26, 26, 26, 26. I'm picturing, I'm a big Beatles fan, so I'm picturing
Ooh.
26, 26, 26, 26. Yeah.
Well, I'm also a big Beatles fan. I love the Beatles, but happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you.
I love birthdays. I'm a huge fan of just like that is your day to do whatever the heck you want, and people should treat you special all day long. There is no like, oh, happy birthday, and then it's a normal day, right? Like, no, no, no. It is your birthday. You celebrate all day long and possibly for several days beyond.
I I feel you should be right, Paul. But
Yeah.
I also have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old,
Yeah.
so the novelty wears off pretty quick with them. It's my day until about 11:30,
Yeah.
and then it's all them.
I guess that's
Um,
fair.
but the NFL gave me a nice big birthday present, and that is a lot of work because they
Yes.
unveiled 8 new uniforms on Tuesday. And last year they unveiled them all on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Please don't do that. I like to rest. But to you guys, it's just a normal day. So
Yeah.
we'll get over my birthday stuff here and get right into this NFL Rivalries program. Before we get into the team by team breakdown, for those who don't know, Rivalries is basically it's Nike's NFL version of like City Connect in baseball and City Edition in basketball, and I guess the NHL's version of Hometown Remix, which is coming later this fall. They started it last year. We had 8 teams do it last year. They're going division by division. Last year was the AFC East and NFC West. Those uniforms
Okay.
all came out last year at this time. All those teams will be wearing those uniforms again this year. Like this
Okay.
is not a one and done program. It's more like Major League Baseball where a group of teams unveil their uniforms and then they wear them for, 3 or 4 seasons. So last year was Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. And the next year we have a whole new batch. We'll talk about that later in the show. But Paul, why don't you introduce some of our 2026 teams here? Hmm.
We've got the AFC South, which is going to be the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans.
The
And then we
historic
have
AFC South division.
the
Sorts of
the historic AFC South. They just need to put that in there. Just rename the whole division the historic AFC South. And then the NFC North has, of course, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Are you sure? Are they allowed to call Division North now? Like, is it going to be the NFC American or NFC Amer? Anyways, that's another
I
show.
I hope that our listeners appreciate that you and I are finding a way to put aside our differences amid great strife between our nations to find a way to chat about NFL uniforms.
Well, that's only because they haven't levied a tariff on Sunday baseball helmets yet, Paul. The second that
Yeah,
happens, I'm losing
yeah.
you, I'm sure.
Well, you wait until the NFL annexes the CFL.
Hmm. No, I'm not going to give an opinion on that. I don't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris, let's talk about let's talk about uniforms. Let's
Hmm.
start with the historic AFC South and the Houston Texans, who In their word mark, Chris seemed to have called out the letters US. We're over here joking about this, but it does appear that they have taken the word Houston and broken it down into its component parts of ho, US, and ton.
Us a hoton. I don't know. I okay. I'm going to
Probably
give
not the intent, maybe. I don't know.
no, no. I'm thinking us because it's well, the next line on the tagline is by the H for the H. So I think it's us as in Houston, us. This is a uniform for us. And of course, they immediately steal the color scheme from the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Light blue and red. Those are Titans colors. Houston, those are their regular uniforms. I, maybe they're throwing back to the Tennessee Oilers with these uniforms, which would be weird if they're for us. So I'm not sure what the Texans are doing. This is I don't quite understand the point here. Now the team says the uniforms are inspired by Houston's custom car scene.
Hmm.
Um,
Is this
whatever that
design
means.
speak? Do we
Oh,
do
of
we
course. I
do we
don't see
see this
anything.
reflected?
It's there's a graffiti number font, which is from the so-called Be Something Bridge,
Okay.
a street tile pattern in the stripes. Yeah, there's some chrome. It's chrome graffiti. I guess they're
Okay.
like, we can't say that these are Houston Oilers colors, right? Like
Blue.
this is for the powder blue and or Columbia blue or whatever they called it, and red. Custom car culture.
It's not something that I had ever associated Houston with was custom cars, and so that's
They're the only
we're
city that does it.
the the intent of this program is for us to learn something about these places, right? Like this rivalries uniform program is meant to, as you mentioned, tie into the local culture the way MLB's City Connect and the NBA City Edition ones do. So here we're learning something about
Hmm.
Houston. They have custom cars.
What I did learn is that the street tile patterns, which they've put into the stripes on the sleeves, apparently Houston has street names on curbside using tile patterns. And
Hmm.
that's kind of neat. I like it because they look like, to me, a tile pattern with a name is like a subway sign. That's what I associate that with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a New York thing or a Toronto thing, but yeah, okay. So I did learn something. None of these programs you mentioned, because you started mentioning this is like MLB City Connect and all that. None of these hold a candle to minor league baseball's alternate identities in terms of educating people on the cities. Like,
It's true. It's true. Like, think about everything you could learn about the Marshall Space Flight Center if you just researched the Rocket City trash pandas a little bit.
there you go. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was any space history down there, and now I know. So
There's a NASA facility in Madison, Alabama, and that's how come Rocket City trash pandas.
I had no idea. And I
What
didn't
I didn't
know
know,
I didn't know that there were raccoons down there too. So,
well, the reason they have a raccoon is because raccoons are clever, just like NASA engineers are clever.
well,
Um,
see, now we're getting ridiculous.
Chris, we're way off topic. It's your birthday, not my birthday, so I'm
Yeah.
not trying to take any extra minor league
Who is the
baseball.
guy that brought up minor league baseball anyways?
Right? Like it's your prerogative on your birthday.
The Texans. Okay, so we should at least I
Talk about the uniforms a little bit, right? Like it's
yeah, we got white helmets, light blue face masks, red stripe up the helmet. It's a Houston Oilers helmet basically
yeah.
with the it's that H logo on the side that they introduced for their alternate like it's like a calligraphic old English style H on the side in white and with silver and trying to look at the colors. It's hard to tell really. There's some trim on it. It's white on white. Red stripe up the middle, as I said. It says H Town on the bumper.
Mhm.
Jerseys are white with red and blue stripes on the sleeves, big blue numbers on the front, and white pants with red and blue half stripe. Only goes down half the pants.
Hmm.
And the Texans logo recolored white with a blue stripe and a red star on the eye on the upper left corner of the chest. That is your Texans rivalries, not Houston Oilers inspired uniforms. They'll be worn on November 19th against the Indianapolis Colts on Amazon Prime. So
Of course it is.
no one will watch it.
Well, there you go. There's your Houston Texans. Houston, a town I have not been to for like 30 years, and I was there because my brother got married in Houston.
Oh,
Speaking of those Texans, the Indianapolis Colts will be playing those Texans on September 27 in a color that the Indianapolis Colts are calling dark anthracite. Chris, we're running out of ways to describe the color gray in the NFL.
Well, what I learned from posting that Tampa Bay Buccaneers video to the socials recently is that by golly, don't call it gray unless the team calls it gray. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. Did you know the Buccaneers don't wear gray? Like, I know they call it pewter.
And the Bills don't wear gray either. They're wearing
No, they wear
nickel.
nickel.
They're
No.
the nickel city.
I like the one commenter said to me, it's not gray, it's pewter. And I said, it's absolutely gray. And they said, well, would you call silver gray? And I said, 100% I'd call silver gray. It's gray. Oh, God. Anyways, the Colts are wearing gray, everybody. I don't care what you say to me. This is dark gray, blue helmet, dark gray jersey with blue stripes, big blue number on the front, and gray pants. So gray, gray, gray. This is basically the Buffalo Bills again because I got that blue helmet.
Yeah.
It is anvil inspired.
Yeah.
I'm guessing because anvils are used to make horseshoes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
going with.
All right. It's
Um,
genius. That's how come you're the world's foremost expert on NFL rivalries uniforms.
well, I'm guessing this has nothing to do with the city, right? Like, like
Like
the Colts.
anvils, like is Indianapolis. Like I've never heard like Indianapolis called like Anvil City or anything.
No, and they're only called the Colts because the team moved from Baltimore.
So all right, so now we not only are we not learning something about Indianapolis, but we are actually learning something incorrect. We're making an association with the city that is not pertinent.
Maybe this isn't a series at all,
Uh,
or maybe we're reading into this wrong. Anyways, so it's all I'm gray head to toe except for the helmets, which are blue. Here's an interesting fact for you, Mr. Paul Caputo.
ooh,
This is the very first time the Colts have worn a horseshoe on the sleeve of their jersey.
wow.
Doesn't that just blow your mind? How has
I
that
mean,
never happened before?
it seems like the perfect size and shape to put on a sleeve. It does seem weird that that has never happened before.
Well, like, what else would they put there? Like,
Yeah,
what have they been putting? I guess they've been putting nothing there for years, right?
I guess so. We're 2 for 2 on big blue uniform numbers on the front of the uniform.
Right. Now, assuming you and I haven't looked ahead at the rest, I'm hoping that every team has big blue uniform numbers because that'll be a fun series here. They can call it the NFL's Big Blue uniform.
Big blue number uniforms.
Big blue gray jerseys.
Chris, I don't have that much more to say about this. They're dark gray uniforms with big blue numbers. I like the helmet. I like the blue helmet.
Okay, here's one. You're saying, what am I going to talk about on this uniform? Good point. How about the nail holes from the horseshoe
Mm,
incorporated into the pant striping?
well, that's two fun details.
Yeah, see? Now suddenly this is a fun uniform.
These are professional designers we're talking about. They know what they're doing.
You got it.
They put grommets in the striping. Andrew Lind, who compiled this article,
We were going to invite him on the show, but he is actually too busy
yeah,
writing the article for us right now. So,
he referred to the enlarged UCLA stripes on the shoulders. And I thought that was an interesting thing. If Andrew were here, I would ask him, is there actually a connection or is UCLA stripe just like some sort of terminology that he uses?
I've noticed he used that terminology a lot, and because I
Yeah.
defer to him on everything, I just assume that that's the right term.
Okay. That's just
So,
like a style of stripe.
yeah, I'm assuming that's this like going by name only. I'm going to assume most of the stripes that UCLA wears. So, but
All
yeah,
right.
so the Colts are going to wear this uniform on September 27th against the Houston Texans. So the Colts will wear these uniforms against the Texans before the Texans wear their uniforms against the Colts.
Mm.
I don't know if that means anything.
Now, will Houston also be wearing their uniforms in this game?
No, these
Oh,
uniforms do
okay.
not match up against each other.
Okay. Okay.
So
Chris, you want to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars? I know that you're hesitant on this one because every time you say the word Jaguars, you pronounce it like 4 different ways
I get
to make
yelled at
sure
by
that
everybody.
you hit on every possible pronunciation.
Here's the thing, commenters and meanies on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. I have an accent, okay? I say some words funny to you. However,
Right.
you say some words, and I'm not just
Yeah.
talking about Paul trying to say water. I know some of you people, especially people who live in Jacksonville and
Hmm.
people who live, let's say in the South.
Right.
You
They
do
don't
say
have
some words.
accents.
No, you guys don't say words that I find funny, but you know what I
Right.
don't do when I hear you talk? I don't laugh at your words. I go, ah, that man has an accent because he lives in the southeastern portion of the United
Yeah.
States. Hmm.
You do repeat water when I say, every time I say water, you repeat it back to
It's
me.
like a tick or something. I don't know what's going on.
Uh, let's talk about Jacksonville, the Jags. Oh,
The
it's from the
Jags,
Jags. Yeah, how about
uh,
that?
the the Jaguars.
Oh, here we go.
Jaguars. Okay. So here's another what are you talking about moment. They have a teal helmet, and this is
Yeah.
the first time they've had a teal helmet.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, you should have had a teal helmet from day one.
hmm hmm
What
hmm
are, what are we doing? You embrace
Yeah.
this color that we all love, that you wear teal. You're the
Right.
only team that really pulls it off well, unless I'm forgetting one and everyone's going to yell at me. But
Mm-hmm.
when I think of teal in the NFL, I think of the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks great.
Yeah.
Teal helmet, gold face mask, looks like a recolored black and white version of their logo on the side
Yeah.
because why not?
Yeah.
The jerseys are white.
Yeah. They're not white, Chris.
No,
Let's,
they are
they're,
sun-washed alabaster.
they are sun-washed alabaster.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna do,
What's
Paul?
that?
It's my birthday, 26, 26, 26. I'm
Mhm.
talking about sun-washed alabaster jerseys with sublimated Jaguar spots. I think I'm gonna resign today. What do
Oh,
you think?
wow.
This is a good
Yeah.
time to announce my re
Yeah. Are you going to name a
Okay.
successor?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna let the whole internet fight for it. And whoever pronounced Jaguar is right, I'm gonna give it to.
I have a
Um,
thought on these uniforms. I'm sorry.
yes.
Were you done recapping the all
No,
the
I
elements?
wasn't, but
All right,
okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
just
You
gonna
you do that.
yeah, the numbers are in some sort of custom font. I'm gonna guess because I don't know, there's a bridge or something in Jacksonville that has these numbers. And
Yeah.
then the pants have Jaguar spots, which you know what? I'm gonna say that's cool. I don't know why. I just think it's
Uh-huh.
cool.
Uh-huh. Very
Um,
subtle though, very nuanced.
does kind of remind me of leopard print, which I associate with like low quality clothing. So I don't know. I don't think that's what they were going for.
Do you have
There's
Kmart in Canada?
We don't anymore, no. We used to.
I don't know if we have it here anymore either, actually, now that I think about
My
it.
my mother was nicknamed the Kmart lady by our local neighborhood
That's hilarious.
because she loved going there so much.
Yeah.
Okay, teal stripes down the side. That's about it. I don't know why white jerseys. Like these should be teal jerseys.
Sun-washed
That's my only
alabaster
feedback
jerseys.
on this.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I say white? Oh my
You
God.
said white, yeah.
Uh, Paul, what
uh,
do you think about these uniforms?
well, first of all, I hope that there's no eye tracking software installed in my computer here because I have been sitting here staring at the pants of these football players for
What part of the pants?
good several minutes. Well, they're pretty short shorts actually, which is what I
Mhm.
was going to comment on, which is that they remind me, and I know that that the pants in the NFL can be fairly short, and then the socks can be high, kind of like stirrup style in Major League Baseball. But for whatever reason, this uniform set reminds me of the old Chicago White Sox in the 70s who wore shorts for 3 games
Hmm.
and then never wore them again. Like it's like the black shorts and the White Sox to me just have a gimmicky White Sox shorts uniform from the 70s. It was one of the Vex who did
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Was
looking
it
at
Bill
these and
Vex who
I
did that?
probably it was
Yeah.
definitely one of the Vex. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing it now. The more you talk about it, I don't know why. It might because I'm just gonna say white. It's because it's a white jersey
Yeah.
with it's got the kind of collar thing like the White Sox uniforms did.
Right. Right.
The black short pants, then the high white socks.
Yeah.
It's screaming Chicago White Sox short pants uniforms. And this is nothing anyone would have picked up on or guessed or anything when they were designing it because it doesn't make
Right.
sense that it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
This number font is
Mhm.
interesting to me. Then and in this graphic they have the phrase bold city and then the year 1995
Mhm.
referenced there. And this font kind of feels very 1990s to me. Like it's a serif font. You don't see a ton
Mhm.
of that in sports branding. And then it has like a little like outline drop shadow. The font has a very like 1990s feeling about it.
I wish I knew the inspiration behind it. Where's Andrew? Andrew, come here. Help us.
He's writing
Uh,
articles for you.
yeah. So I wish I knew the inspiration of it, but again, it's probably based on something in
Yeah.
Jacksonville, right? Like there's a sign somewhere in Jacksonville that has this font
Yeah.
or a garbage can or something. Who knows what they're
Garbage
doing
can.
over there. I should mention the helmet bumpers on these things say 904, and I'm just going to assume that that's the area code for
Yes,
Jacksonville.
definitely. Not even going to Google it.
Not even going to Google it. These will
Yeah.
be worn on November 1st against I'm noticing a theme here, the Indianapolis Colts. They could wear these uniforms against the Colts, not gray uniforms. We could have the not
Yeah.
white Jaguars versus the not gray Colts.
It's the anthracite versus alabaster.
That it sounds like a college game to me. Anthracite versus alabaster. I'm just going to believe, like, you could tell me
Uh,
again, like with NFL weeks in a schedule, you could tell me that it's
right.
anthracite versus alabaster in the
Yeah.
Jacksonville Bowl, and I'd say, okay, put some
NFL
money,
Wednesday morning.
on alabaster for me.
Okay, let's move on, Chris. Let's
Let's
round out
move
this
on.
historic AFC South. This what I'm looking at in the article here, and it comes from the Titans themselves. I can't tell. The imagery is basically monochromatic, except for the skin tones of the players, modeling the uniforms.
Hmm.
It's all blue. Like it looks like there's like been a blue filter posted over all of these, and I don't know if that's like a full color photo, and it's just that's how much blue there is, or did they apply like a blue filter to this before they put it out there in the world? These uniforms are inspired by Nashville's status as Music City. They've got a number font that's big and blue, by the way. It mimics the neon lights on Broadway, which is a great spot. If you've ever been to Nashville, like walking down Broadway on Nashville is so much fun, and there is a ton of neon there. And we've talked before about the guitar string stripes that Tennessee wears. They have a new light blue helmet, which I kind of like actually. It's
Yeah.
got the Titans with the three Tennessee Stars logo that they have. I don't know what these are going to look like on the field because I feel like I'm looking at them through a blue filter,
Mhm.
but I do think that they are a pretty sharp, largely monochromatic uniform going from dark blue to light blue to white.
I think there's definitely a light blue filter applied to this, Paul. If you look at the face of the player who wears the number 20 jersey in this graphic,
Mm,
they
yeah,
they forgot to
they
get rid of the
missed it,
blue
huh?
filter. Yep. Look at that.
Unless
See?
right, because there's not a visor there, right? Like that's not just a blue visor. They just forgot to
Yeah. Unless number 20
remove
is a
the.
Smurf, or unless number 20 is choking on something,
Yeah,
we
what if
need
he's been
to
holding his breath?
we're going to have to assume that there's some sort of filter applied here.
That
First,
makes
let's give some credit to Andrew Lind because these uniforms match exactly what he said they would look like.
that's right.
Back a few weeks ago, we talked about it
Yeah.
then. And this whole, Music City, neon numbers, everything blue, this is very Memphis Grizzlies, right? The
Mm,
Memphis Grizzlies do the exact same thing where
yeah.
they had the neon sign inspired numbers, an all blue uniform to pay tribute not to Broadway Street, which is Nashville's big street, but Beale Street, which is
Mm,
Memphis's.
Memphis. Right.
And it's basically the same idea, right?
Yeah.
Let's also use neon numbers. Let's also pay tribute to our street. Let's also do it in blue. Let's also,
Yeah.
that's kind of like I like what this uniform looks like. It's nice. I
Yeah.
like obviously I like numbers with an inline in them, especially when they're blue. Being a Blue Jays fan, that's kind of just
Ah,
the way
of
our
course, it
numbers
does
have
have a
always
very
looked,
Blue Jays-y feeling about it.
right? So I like that. I like the guitar string stripes. I think that's a neat little tribute. Has nothing to do
Yeah.
with Titans, but has something to do with Nashville and Tennessee,
Sure.
and it has Music City across the jersey there. But this is an idea that's already been done by a team in your state, just on the other side there. And again, hey, we're going to talk minor league baseball again. The Memphis Redbirds did the same thing.
Yes.
Uh, they
Right.
they did. I mean, it's red because they're a Cardinals affiliate, but
Sure.
neon inspired numbers with that inner line. And again, to pay tribute to Beale Street. So Tennessee has a thing for neon lights. Las Vegas has a thing for neon lights. So at this point, I'm thinking, it's not necessarily a unique to Tennessee thing. So is
Yeah.
it really unique enough to this region that three teams now have to build their number fonts around them? I
Yeah.
think the Titans could have done something different for their numbers here. simply because it's been done before
Yeah.
by another city in the same state. That aside, I think it's a good looking uniform.
Yes.
And
Well,
it
right.
brings back dark blue to the Titans,
Yes.
which, they just got rid of dark blue 3 months ago. So it's back in case you missed it.
Yeah.
And they brought it back before even playing a game without it. And then, after making such a big deal about promoting red as a primary color, there's no
Yeah.
red to be found anywhere in this uniform. So
Yeah.
this is just me not understanding the modern state of branding. Again, in a league which insists that nobody will know what the Super Bowl is unless the logo stays exactly the same every year. Somehow a team can completely rebrand and then within 2 months go with a uniform that doesn't look anything like the new rebrand, and everyone will know who they are. So,
The Music City across the front,
yes.
we have a restaurant in Fort Collins here called Music City Hot Chicken, and
Hmm.
they do some great chicken tenders, some great spicy chicken. And it makes me think about the fact that my Philadelphia Eagles are playing in Nashville this year. And I have a nephew who is at Vanderbilt. And one of my favorite meals ever was at a place called Hattie B's Hot Chicken in Nashville. So, Music City has brought me on that whole train of thought to I should go see that Eagles game and get some Hattie B's hot chicken.
I'm thinking I just want some chicken.
Right?
That sounds great.
But hey, here's maybe something really innovative and fun about this uniform. There are two terms that have been used to describe the colors in this uniform. Let me tell you what those two terms are, Chris. You ready?
Hmm. Yep.
Navy blue,
Hmm.
light blue.
Never heard of them.
Right? Like it's not electromagnetic neon blue.
Now we're just assuming that Andrew is using the proper color names here. For all we know, the Titans put out a press release that said our Broadway blue jerseys with,
That's true.
I don't know,
Yeah.
something else,
We
blue
should have him on
helmets.
to talk about it.
Well, I sent him a message. He's busy. I'm not going to bother him
He
too much. If
is
he has a
busy.
second, we'll bring him on. But
Okay. That's good. All right. We
I think that's it for the
that
historic AFC South.
that wraps up the historic AFC South. I've been excited for this one, Chris. I'm ready to sink my teeth into some NFC North teams, some actual historic teams here. Christmas, December 25, which is 4 months minus 1 day from when this episode drops. The Chicago Bears will be playing the Green Bay Packers on Netflix, and they will be featuring a uniform set that has one very distinctive element. I'm going to let you describe that because it's your birthday and this is fun.
Oh, I thought you were so excited. I thought you were going to run with it. Okay.
No, no, no.
So the Chicago Bears here, okay, this team has started embracing orange a lot more, right? They've
Yeah.
always worn orange,
Yeah.
but they introduced an orange alternate jersey recently. There's also an orange alternate helmet recently. They're going to go one step further here. What's the only orange thing they haven't done yet? Paul?
Pants, dude. Pants.
Pants, exactly. The Chicago Bears are going to introduce orange pants for, I guess, the first time in their, maybe they wore it like in the 30s or something. I don't know. But navy blue jerseys, big orange numbers on the front, a big George Halas memorial patch on the jersey, vertical stripes on the sleeves, which that's a throwback, right?
Mm,
That's something the Bears used to do back in the day, but
yeah.
not on their. Did they do it on their sleeves? I know they did it on their pants in the front of their jersey. So orange helmets with the Wishbone C logo on the side and navy blue trimmed in white with a navy blue face mask. And of course, the aforementioned orange pants. They say this uniform is inspired by their Monsters of the Midway throwbacks. So it's basically a modern take on a classic design, which we all know is the way things are going these days.
This photo that they have used here, this whole social media post that they are using to promote this, looks like the cover of Sports Illustrated. It's like the Sports Illustrated NFL preview from like 1983, right? Like it's just, it has a very old Sports Illustrated feeling about it.
That's probably what they're going for. I
Sure.
don't know.
Yeah.
If Sports Illustrated
Even,
was still a thing, this would
yeah.
be.
Even the like the legend that they're using here, Return of the Monsters, and then yeah, just like the
Hmm.
two players standing there, and they dropped out the background and put some, orange texture something. It actually looks like my house that has been stripped
Yeah.
of all of its personality and staged for selling.
If only your house was bright orange, it would sell in minutes.
That's what everyone's looking for. They're like, "Do you have any bright orange houses on the market?"
I when
Uh,
we were selling my house like 20 years ago, I sort of like went in as if I was a buyer. I
yeah.
didn't, the
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
the person selling, the agent didn't, wasn't my usual agent. It was someone my
Yeah.
agent hired to do the open house. And I remember just listening to the questions the other interested buyers were asking and
Huh.
like, but this wall is yellow. I don't know. And I keep
Uh,
thinking, paint, paint the bloody wall.
Do you have somewhere for me to put 600 ice cream helmets?
Sir, we get that question a lot.
I'm bringing us back here, Chris. I'm bringing us back. I am a huge fan of the orange pants. I think this is easily of the 8 new rivalries uniforms that are out. This one's my favorite.
I think because it's just the most colorful, right? Like there's actually some personality to it, and
Yeah.
it's not monochromatic, and I think the orange helmet, when worn all together, might look a little.
Hmm.
It, I would rather a navy blue helmet with this setup, but otherwise, I like the number font they used. It's like an old-timey, exaggerated serif font. I
Hmm.
like the incorporation of vertical stripes on the sleeves. That's a nice little throwback. Orange pants, why not? It looks fine. The Bears are blue and orange, embrace some
Yeah.
orange. I just think an orange helmet on top of it all is going to look a little unusual. But again, I will reserve judgment until I see them on the field, which, as you mentioned, will be on Christmas Day on Netflix, assuming I have a good internet connection that day.
Chris, I do have a question about this
Hmm.
uniform set for you. There is an emblem on the chest.
Yes.
It's an orange football,
Hmm.
the shape of their old Chicago logo, like that had the bear crawling over it. And it seems to be like a monogram that says, if I'm reading it the way you might read a monogram, HGS or
Hmm.
GH5. What am I looking at there?
This is a permanent patch that the Bears have incorporated into their uniforms. It is in honor of their founder, George
Hmm.
S. Hallis, George Stanley Hallis.
Ah,
Um, Typically, they wear it on their stripes.
okay.
It used to be worn right on the front there, like you see here.
Yeah.
So, like, this is just their way of paying tribute to the guy who started their team.
It's very prominent on this uniform.
Yeah. And I think that's a throwback to just how it used to appear on the jersey. It used to be like
Hmm.
comically large. Like
Yeah.
you look back at a picture of like Walter Payton, right? And
Yeah.
he has this giant football shaped orange on the upper left corner of his jersey. I'm pretty sure the Bears moved it to their sleeve striping in
Okay.
recent years.
Okay. Great.
Hmm.
Big orange letters, by the way, not big blue letters, big orange letters
Hmm.
with a kind of slab serif. Old school. I like it.
Very old school. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I said, I think it's a nice jersey. It's very colorful. And I'll wait until I see it on the field. But my hunch tells me I think it should have been a navy blue helmet instead of orange. That's all.
Okay. Well, we'll check in on Christmas Day and see if that is how it
Yeah,
goes.
give me a call. I won't be doing anything.
All right, I will. I will.
No, no parent is busy on Christmas Day.
Chris, long before we get to Christmas,
Hmm.
before even at least Thanksgiving in America, on November 1, the Detroit Lions will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings in their Defend the Den rivalries uniforms. These are, may I say, nope, I can't. I was going to say white, concrete gray
Right.
uniforms. They are
Carbon
concrete.
fiber print.
Yeah. All right, but we're referencing the automotive history of Detroit, which I think is fair, right? Like I don't
It
think this
seems
is
more fair than Houston.
this is not Houston and custom cars here, right? The
Right.
automotive history, the heritage in Detroit, for sure. Concrete gray uniforms, carbon fiber print racing style numbers, a nod to the city's automotive heritage. And then the shoulder stripes are pulled from the eye of their logo. How interesting.
Hmm.
I like these. The I do want to finish this sentence here because I'm not sure where this is going to go. The carbon fiber details, Andrew Lynn says, also appear on the decals of their Honolulu blue alternate helmets. These alternate helmets, Chris, are Honolulu blue.
Hmm. There's a story behind that. Uh,
Okay.
it goes back a bit. You know what? This is a good opportunity to tell that story.
All right, let's have it.
Uh, the Honolulu Blue. It was named by the
Mm.
original owner of the Lions, George Richards, and quite simply, George Richards loved going to Hawaii,
Uh-huh.
and the blue reminded him of the Pacific Ocean waves off
Oh,
the coast of Hawaii. So he called it Honolulu Blue. That's it.
okay. All
Yep.
right. I mean, that's at least not design speak, right? Like it's just an actual
No.
connection that a human being made with a place.
Yep.
Granted, that place is Hawaii and not Detroit, although those two are very often confused with one another.
The amount of times I've been in Detroit and woken up and said, "Wow, I'm in Hawaii."
Let's go snorkeling, everybody.
You know how I know I'm in Hawaii? Because of all the Honolulu Blue merchandise everywhere.
All right. Well, thank you for that explanation, Chris. This is twice I've put you on the spot here. One with that Bears patch, and now with Honolulu Blue, and you've knocked it out of the park both times.
Not bad
Def-
for a Canadian. Let me point that out. I'm going to tariff this information I'm sending across the border.
oh no, listeners, this is going to cost you 50% more than it already did. That
What's
is,
50% is zero, Paul?
well, I've got to get my calculator out. I don't know the answer
My
to that.
calculator says undefined.
I was told there would be no math. Otherwise, I mean, I think these uniforms are pretty straightforward. I do like the detail of the shoulder stripe being pulled from the eye of their logo.
Yeah, that's neat. It's a good way to, try to do something else, and
Yeah,
use things that actually exist within the existing branding. My complaints are going to be, kind of lame, but it's
yeah,
another Detroit uniform inspired by the automotive industry. Surely Detroit has something else, right? Like Detroit was the birthplace of Motown and everything,
yeah.
which of course Motown is named for the automotive industry, but it has nothing to do with the automotive industry otherwise. There's such a strong history there of music and I think there was a boxer there from Detroit, right? Joe Louis. So, anyways, there's Detroit has things other than automotive history, and what I do feel sorry for is the Pistons who have had to come up with 15 consecutive automotive inspired City Edition uniforms, but they've pulled it off. I gotta say. The only other complaint, and again, it's not a major one, is that these look like Carolina Panthers uniforms. They don't really feel like Detroit Lions uniforms, and that's just more because both teams share the same colors. That's it. To me, the Panthers are a black and light blue team, whereas the Lions are light blue and silver, but they've really pulled out the black into this design, which does nudge it into Carolina Panthers territory.
Hmm.
If the Panthers unveiled these uniforms as their rivalries uniforms, I would say, oh, cool.
Yeah.
They look
Weird that
like
they say Detroit on them, but
aside from that, yes. And
okay.
why is Carolina paying tribute to the automotive industry?
They have custom cars there.
They have custom cars there. Yeah, so these will be worn. You mentioned on November 1st against the Vikings,
Yeah.
which is a NFL Rivalries doubleheader because the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to wear theirs that day as well. So
If this were minor league baseball, Chris, this uniform would have been based on Detroit style deep dish pizza.
that would have been something.
Yeah, which is a square rather than a circle.
Yeah, you could have. I didn't know Detroit had a style of pizza, but
Yep,
okay.
yep,
See,
yep.
that would have been educational.
You would have learned a thing about pizza.
You know what we learned today, Paul, is that Detroit has an automotive heritage.
Right. You know what else Detroit is associated with? You mentioned Motown,
Hmm.
which, very much Detroit. I would say that Philadelphia stakes a certain claim to that as well. But techno music in the 1980s,
Hmm.
techno music came out of Detroit.
I
So
had no idea.
yeah,
Hmm.
so they've got musical heritage
White
all over the
Stripes. The White
place.
Stripes are from Detroit. That's what I
The,
know.
the White
Jack
Stripes.
Eminem.
Speaking of Eminem, of course, of
Hmm.
course. Speaking of stripes, the stripes being pulled from the eye of the logo reminds me a little bit of what the Bills did with their
Hmm.
stripe pulling out of their logo.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
the Lions could have done just a big stripe, like a big lion's eye on the side of the helmet, like the Bills did.
I guess that would have been more of a parallel there. So,
Hmm.
Chris, moving right along, the historic Green Bay Packers. This uniform kind of looks like it's right out of like 1912.
Yeah, yeah. Except they're wearing helmets and they have
Yeah, they're not
some.
wearing leather helmets.
There's protective equipment and
Right.
yeah.
Vintage
Well,
green.
vintage is that right? Calling it vintage green?
Vintage. Well, Andrew called it vintage green uniforms. So I don't know if vintage green is the color or if they are vintage uniforms that are green. So I'm not gonna poke fun at the Packers for calling these vintage green. That could have just been how Andrew wrote it.
Desaturated green is
Mm.
what I'm seeing. And also, oh, here we go, alabaster helmets. Yeah, it never ends.
Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna lie. These are good looking uniforms.
Yeah.
They look like the Packers. What can I say? It's a bit of a unique inspiration for the design. And if you knew nothing of the Green Bay Packers, you would hear the inspiration of this design and you would say, this sounds like the most boringest inspiration for a uniform possible. But those who know about the Packers understand why
Mhm.
a uniform inspired by stock certificates is significant for the Green Bay Packers. Of
Yep.
course, because the Green Bay Packers are famously owned by their community, right? Like
Yep.
it's, as far as I know, are they like they must be the only professional team that are owned by the community, right? Like
Certainly
they,
at the major league levels like this, right? Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sure there are professional teams, not at the major league levels that are owned by the community, but yeah, certainly the four or five major league sports in the United States, this has got to be the only one.
Yeah, and that's how Green Bay is is a small city, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't even what's the population? It's it's five figures, right? Like it's not over 100,000. And I apologize to Green Bay if it is. But like this is a team that was born out of, the earliest possible days of the league. I think they even predate the league, at least the league taking its name. I'm not sure, but it's all around the same time, like 1920s. 1920, I should say. And, a team that was just made up of the workers of the local meat packing plant, right? Like that was the team, and that's how they got the name Packers.
Yeah.
And so they've managed to survive all these years. I do recall a time when I was growing up when the Packers used to have to play a game in Milwaukee every year just to try to drum up numbers and all that. But those days
Yeah.
are long behind them. They are very,
Yep.
very, very much alive and well in Green Bay, and good on them. So that's why this whole community ownership thing is very important and why the Packers can get away, and probably only the Packers can get away with a stock certificate inspired uniform. And those details are woven into the stripes on the side of the jersey, as well as the font of the numbers, which is also inspired by the style of lettering on paper currency.
Mm.
So the jersey is like, I know we said desaturated or vintage green. It's hard to describe this color. You know
I
what I'm
think
talking about.
desaturated was the perfect term. I
Okay, we'll
think
go
that,
with
yeah,
desaturated.
it looks like they took that green and went into Photoshop and took it down to like 80%. It's like Green Bay green, but like 80%.
Maybe they have 80% community ownership, and that's okay.
There's some connection to that. It's 78.5%. Uh
So the helmets, I mean, they're kind of like an off-white, right? Like you can tell it's almost like
yeah.
maybe like a cream type, like
Hmm.
a vintage white is what we would typically refer to it. The
Yeah.
team, as I said, is calling it alabaster. So the helmet is that off-white color with a gold stripe down the middle, that desaturated green on either side of the gold stripe. The Packers' typical logo on the side of the helmet, the white G on the green oval trimmed in gold, that desaturated green face mask. We got the desaturated green jerseys with white and gold striping on each sleeve, white numbers trimmed in yellow in that currency inspired font, and a historic GB interlocked letter design on the upper left corner of their jersey. This is like an old Green Bay Packers logo that we've seen in the past. This is also worn with that off-white color pants and a green, yellow, green stripe down the side. It feels very Green Bay Packers, even though the Green Bay Packers have never worn this uniform before. To me, that's what makes a great new uniform. It feels like a uniform the team has worn before, but they never have. This one gets thumbs up from me. Sounds like it gets a
Yeah,
thumbs up from you.
it does. And I'll tell you, like all of that, I mean, the stock certificate inspiration, the numbers drawn from currency, I think those are details that if you haven't read them on SportsLogos.Net, you're never going to know that.
Mm,
But the overall effect of these uniforms is this team's been around a long time, and we're playing in a uniform that looks like it could have been from 100 years ago.
hmm
I think that that really achieves what they are trying to do with this uniform set.
Both the Bears and the Packers uniforms, I feel, could be made like regular alternate uniforms and
Mm,
nobody would be upset.
right. I agree with that.
If it wasn't for the fact that the Packers, yellow or gold helmets are just so iconic with the team, I would say go ahead and make this their full time. But the
Yeah.
Packers need to wear a gold helmet full time. This is fine for every now and then to go white.
Yeah.
This is scheduled to be war against those Chicago Bears, but not while the Bears are wearing their rivalry uniforms on October 11th.
Feels like a missed opportunity that they don't wear the rival. I guess you couldn't do it that way because you would have one team debuting their rivalry uniforms on the road at a minimum. So you can't do it that way. But it feels like if these are meant to be, you wear them against your rivals, you should both teams should be wearing their rivalry uniforms for that game. I'm not going to die on that hill, Chris.
Yeah,
I
and
don't want to
but
ruin your birthday with that.
oh no, my birthday was ruined the moment I woke up.
Oh no, wow. And was
I'm
it because
kidding.
my voice was the first one you heard?
Well, I mean, you tell me if yeah, I mean, you have a wife, and the first voice you hear as you open your eyes on your birthday is a man from Colorado.
Oh
Um,
no.
my only guess there is like, I mean, we saw with the Color Rush when Color Rush was first introduced, the whole idea was that they would be worn against each other,
Yeah.
and like the first big time they did that was Jets versus Bills, and it was all green Jets versus all red Bills, which I heard was a nightmare for those who had color blindness, right? The green
Oh,
versus the red.
yeah. Yeah.
They couldn't tell the teams apart whatsoever.
Right.
And so they started going, okay, well, some teams are going to be all white, and then some teams are going to be all, you know, some secondary color.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the teams were like, hey, we don't want to be forced to wear an all white, we want to have a fun uniform we can actually sell, like
Yeah.
a plain white NFL jersey doesn't do well on
Yeah.
the sales racks. So I'm guessing teams are like, hey, we want to be able to do whatever colors we want and not be forced to wear a white uniform, unless you're Jacksonville, who doesn't seem to
Hmm.
mind. And yeah, so this way, teams can wear whatever they want without having to worry about pairing up against one of their rivals.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
it
That makes
makes sense.
sense.
It's the same reason why in the NHL the home teams wear dark jerseys because they
Yeah.
want to wear their dark colored alternate jerseys because those sell better and they wear them
Yeah.
at home. So,
Makes sense, Chris. That's why
makes
you're the
sense.
world's foremost expert
Uh,
on
just because you
sports
say it
branding and
over and
design.
over again doesn't make it true.
That's actually not true in the United States. You can just
Oh,
repeat something enough that it becomes true.
okay. I should brush up on that for whenever the day comes.
Chris, we got one more, the last one here. Feel the North. This is the Minnesota Vikings, who are very purple, and they
Yes.
have the thing I noticed first when I look at this, a very distinctive uniform font. This is different from anything I've seen on any of the other uniforms, maybe ever, right? Like that I find that uniform font very, or the number font to be very distinctive. Deep purple. They've got purple pants. They've got a purple jersey. I like these as well. I am looking forward to seeing these on the field. This is one that I think also could be incorporated into the larger brand of the Vikings, and I wouldn't say they wouldn't notice, but it wouldn't be out of place in the larger set of Vikings uniforms.
Yeah. This would be, in my opinion, the best Minnesota Vikings uniform, right?
Mm,
Like there's actually like a story behind every little element here, and it's not just something for the sake of something. Like the stripes with the story actually look pretty good.
Hmm.
And they all have to do with the Vikings name and brand. And again, you mentioned this is all purple, head to toe, even the helmet, jersey, pants, face mask is gold. The Vikings logo on the side, typical Viking horn logo, but the stripe down the middle of the helmet is like this Nordic inspired gold stripe, which it's clearly like some sort of Viking carving, maybe inspired
Yeah.
pattern in it,
Yeah.
which is also duplicated on the sleeve striping. They
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
this braided stripe style, which looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's in gold and white. The numbers on the front you mentioned are very unique, and I feel like this is something the Vikings can get away with. They also, I don't know if they still do, but at one point they had like the custom font for the yard markings on the field. I always loved seeing that in
Hmm.
the Viking style font. Andrew mentions that the numbers are inspired by rune carvings, and again, a new Vikings word mark right above the numbers. So there's a lot of Viking related imagery in this, and it's all done tastefully. It's
Yeah.
not over the top. It's
Yeah.
not done so in a it's not hitting you over the head with it, right? Like it's
Right.
very this doesn't feel like a novelty alternate uniform. This feels like a hey, we're rebranding the team. Here's our full-time home set. And if the Vikings did unveil this as their full-time home set, I would say, "Oh, cool.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
what a nice look. This is a nice evolution for the franchise. There's no throwback to this design. It's all new, as far as I can tell, right? They're not incorporating any old look to the team. The only thing that has survived is the color scheme and the horn. And the Vikings typically don't wear this shade of gold, right? Like they wear more of like a yellowy gold.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a modernization happening there. And hey, I'm all for it. It looks great.
I really like the pattern on the sleeve, which is, as you mentioned, it's based on like Viking knots,
Hmm.
which are these like endless patterns of like super intricate like knot work essentially to make like very long braided ropes. And then rune carvings, Chris, I admit while you were talking, I looked that one up. The Viking knot I knew about, but the rune carvings, that's just carvings in stone, like ancient prehistoric carvings in
Okay.
stone. So. But
It
yeah,
tells a story. It
this
tells a story in a tasteful way. Yeah.
yeah, the detail on the sleeve patch I think is very cool with the Viking knot there. So what an interesting way to sort of celebrate that Viking culture, right? Like that is such a big part of the upper Midwest in the United States. So yeah, these are cool and I like them.
What we need to find out, Paul, if you look at the image the team released, there's like this carving on a stone that they've also incorporated onto
Right.
their helmet bumper.
Yeah. What is that? What are they
Let's
doing?
go find out what that is. All right, no, okay, I got it. So that the helmet bumper, they look like old style characters, certainly
Yeah,
not English style characters or anything.
sure.
It says that it is Skol, Skol, transcribed in runic characters used during the Viking Age.
Ooh,
So yeah, that's a neat little detail there.
that's a
Again,
very cool detail.
yeah, really, really going back to the origins of Vikings, right? Like Vikings were
Hmm.
real people who came from a real place. This is how you respectfully pay tribute to a people.
As we're looking at more details on this, Chris, the team says that that knot specifically is it
Hmm.
mimics the knots found on the Jalahorn. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which is like the Viking horn at their stadium. So they have incorporated that pattern from a design element at their stadium into their uniform.
Beautiful. Love it.
Yes.
Good job, Vikings or Nike or whoever did it.
Well, Chris, I always say we're up against the clock. We are for real up against the clock
Oh,
right
yeah.
now because I am literally leaving in a half hour to take my daughter back to college. So
Okay.
it is.
So before we do the YouTube comments, I'm just going to quickly point out next year, the rivalries uniforms will be coming to at least this hasn't been officially announced, but it's like this is the scheduled lineup for next year. Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Chargers, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, your Philadelphia Eagles,
Mm.
and the Washington Commanders. The AFC West and the NFC East are due to unveil their rivalries uniforms in 2027. I'm assuming right at the end of August, as was the case this year.
Chris, may I put in a request when you are having your conversations when the NFL comes to you for advice on what to do and what not to do with these uniforms?
You are more than welcome to put in a request for me to say something. Just keep in
Okay.
mind that I have never been asked to say anything to the NFL about these things.
Well, for all of the high-end NFL officials listening right now, Philadelphia Eagles, please don't do the Liberty Bell. Please don't. Please find something else that is not the Liberty Bell.
There's
Okay.
nothing in Philadelphia but the Liberty Bell. We know that. Paul is in denial.
The Liberty Bell, Chris, listen, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Super recognizable visually, but like the story behind it is so nonsensical. Like the way it became an emblem of Philadelphia is just so goofy. So we won't get into that now. Because, like I said, I'm leaving to take my daughter to college in a half hour.
Sure.
So
How about we do it for Philadelphia's custom car culture?
I like it. Or Motown Philly. Oh, let's do a Motown Philly thing. Motown Philly
Hey,
back again.
there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can have that one just because it's not Liberty Bell NFL.
Right. And
Um,
Detroit didn't use it.
and Detroit didn't use it, so okay. Take that, Detroit. We're the Motor City. We know. YouTube comments. We got quite a few again. Thank you, everybody.
Ooh, excellent.
Let's see. At Anime No Power. I hope that's not
Hmm.
something offensive. I have a question involving the Buccaneers uniform in general.
Uh,
Not necessarily about the soon to be current ones, but since their uniform design back from 97 to 2013 and returning back since 2020, as fans, how come we never had seen a proper all red jersey, all red pants combo, excluding color rush, and a white jersey, red pants combo, as well as a pewter jersey, red pants combo? Why didn't you see that? I don't know. Why not?
yeah.
I'm guessing the Buccaneers just really like pewter and they don't like red quite as much
Hmm.
as a primary. Does this make sense? I was going to say primary alternate color.
Yeah.
Um,
It does make sense.
it does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no red pants, no, pewter and red together. Maybe something about red pants they just don't like. Red pants are kind of weird. That's it.
Yep.
There's no official answer for that. And in my
Yeah.
experience, when you ask a team why they didn't do something like that, they will say because we didn't want to. And I'm not saying that to
Yeah.
be, a smart aleck. That's what they
Yeah.
say. And,
Yeah.
they don't understand that we are expecting a proper reason. They just say we just didn't feel like it.
Because we
So
haven't done
that's
it.
it. At Kilo One, our Chicago Dogs fan says more teams should incorporate road caps into the uniform rotations because he wants to see the Cubs Red Bills return at some point.
Uh,
Kilo One's right. The Red Bills
yeah.
should return at some point. And he points out episode 20 should be for Derek Lee and Cam Barker. Paul did mention Derek Lee at one point
I
in
think
a
so. Yeah. We can't retrofit these episodes.
at Jeremy Motley, he talked last week. Last week, I mentioned my confusion as I was looking at strawberries when the banana warning came out. This week, in response to my comment, podcast Paul said strawberries were a bit overripe. And guess what, Paul? You were right.
Ugh, I
Way to
knew it.
go. Yeah. Jeremy also wants the Canadian content CFL chat going. He wants to hear our thoughts on the Argos look. He can't stand the current look outside of the logo. I think you're right, Jeremy, about the Argos uniforms. The logo is amazing. And I like that they thought to do something neat with the oar pattern on the front of the jersey. It just didn't work. It looks like wings, and they want to look like a rowing boat, like the old Greek Argonauts, but it just doesn't look right. I would prefer them to wear a navy blue helmet instead of powder blue, and I would prefer navy blue to be the number one color there. Powder blue is a good alternate color, not necessarily a primary. There's your Canadian content, and give me some sort of grant for that, Canadian
Yeah.
government. Please recoup some of the tariff money you're going to collect.
CanCon.
CanCon. It sounds like a convention. At Scott Phillips 9607 says your BC Lions comment reminded me that when I was a kid, the Cardinals just moved to Arizona. When they played the Houston Oilers, their equipment bag still said St. Louis. So they had to have athletic tape covering it up when they played at the Astrodome. That is hilarious. They're just like the Athletics for a while. At Alan Galley 5637, he is stunned that I could spell Albuquerque properly after Weird Al taught us all that it is spelled ALBU Kirky.
Quirky.
Yeah, and you're right, Alan. I don't know how I missed the U between the B and the Q. I'm just going to chalk it up to being put on the spot.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. It was you
Because
you you tried to rattle it off. You went too fast.
I went too fast. I was trying to show off again. I did it with my eyes closed, and I shouldn't have done that. At Jersey Guy Ed, he is a first time, long time. Couple of things on the topic of relocated names and identities. I think it depends on the team, city, and nickname. The team I work for in Calgary has done just fine keeping the name after relocating from Atlanta. It's definitely more associated with Calgary than Atlanta, and it would be weird to have left the team records and stats in that city. Yeah, I agree with Jersey Guy Ed. It's definitely on a team by team basis, and I think it almost entirely has to do with whether or not you take the identity with you, right? Like the Dodgers definitely have more of a claim to the Brooklyn Dodgers
Mm,
history than, say, the Baltimore Orioles have claim to the St. Louis Browns history, right? Like they
mm,
feel like two very distinct things, and it's entirely because the team changed their name. Like the Atlanta Braves are tied to Boston and Milwaukee very closely,
right,
but the Expos and Nationals not quite as much.
right. Or the A's are tied to a third of the cities in the United States.
Yeah, exactly, right? There are five cities they're going to play in. Next on the talk of the Savannah Bananas, hat-wearing Mariners fan. Oh, this one's for you, Paul.
Yeah,
I'd like your thoughts on this, on along these lines. I'm an avid collector of hats and jerseys. I have over 500 hats, over 300 jerseys. Oh my gosh,
it's a
you
lot.
need a dedicated stand display case for that.
Or a
Um,
wall.
or a wall. Yes, Paul has one. Maybe he's shopping it. Lately, I find myself reluctant to wear jerseys of teams that aren't my own favorite teams when I'm out and about, as I don't want people to think that the team I'm wearing is my favorite, rather than
Mm,
I just like the jersey.
yeah,
He's asking if we
yeah,
think the same way Joe Schmo thinks. He's interested to hear our thoughts on wearing merch from teams that aren't your team.
yeah.
Jersey guy Ed, I'm going to let Paul answer this quickly, but I'm just going to say what we think isn't what Joe Schmo thinks. Paul?
I am very unlikely to wear a major league team's hat or shirt or jersey. There are some rare exceptions. I have a Twins t-shirt that I love. I have a Rays City Connect hat that I like. I have some Seattle Mariners stuff that I picked up when I was in Seattle. I am way more likely to wear a minor league hat, regardless of where that team is from or who that, what place that team represents. And especially like on a day like today when I'm traveling, absolutely going to wear some Philadelphia stuff. Like I am absolutely going to be wearing Philly stuff through the airport as I'm traveling. So if I'm going to be seen by a bunch of people, even if I'm going to the grocery store or whatever, I'm not going to wear Mariners, Rays, Twins. It'll, be Phillies or it'll be minor league.
I think it really has to do on the situation, the scenario,
Yeah.
where you are, also current events.
Yeah.
So like there are some like I remember I bought a Texas Rangers t-shirt back in 2014 when I went to Dallas, and I thought, "Yeah, I can wear this around town because people in Toronto have absolutely no hate for the Rangers. There's no
Right.
thought either way. And then the next year we played them in a very intense playoff series, and then there was a big fight between the two teams, and I
Yeah.
haven't worn it
Yeah.
since. So there's some teams where, like the Milwaukee Brewers, I have no negative feelings. No one around here does. I can wear a Brewers t-shirt
Yeah.
around here. Nobody will
Right.
care. If I wear
Right.
a Yankees jersey, not so much.
Very different.
So
I wore Rockies stuff to a Rockies Padres game in San Diego. And it was funny because the Rockies lost both of the games that we attended, and the Padres fans were like, haha, we beat you. And I'm like, joke's on you. I'm a Phillies fan. 2022 playoffs, baby.
oh, see, you were in disguise. That's not
I
fair.
was in disguise. Yeah.
At Michael Mikowski 12. Hey guys, my Islanders jersey was the orange fisherman concept, which did not win. I
Oh,
didn't I didn't get paid. I did not pass go, and I did not collect $200.
mm,
Sorry, Michael. I would
yeah.
like to say about my design that I did it for fun. I would have
Okay.
changed the coloring of the logo to like the reverse retro style. I don't think the Islanders allowed you to change the color of the logos, which is what he's referring to. And his inspiration was a reverse retro of the reverse retro. So he's calling it a Jersey Inception. He's right.
Yeah.
Reverse retro, reverse retro.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see the Islanders wear an orange jersey, and we didn't really get to talk about the Islanders contest as much as we wanted to this week.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get to next week. Blame the
We can
NFL.
hold that. Hold that
Yeah.
for a future episode.
Okay, good idea. And Paul, we have one more
Okay.
from GK by the Bay, who is another longtime SportsLogos.Net follower. He says, "Great show as usual. The Bucks white throwback was initially announced just for the 50th season in 25. but I'm glad it's sticking around a little longer. The pewter jersey is great on its own, but definitely could use a pair of white pants for some contrast. I can't argue with that. I think it's just the head to toe pewter, Paul, that it doesn't even really bother me. It's just like I have to have an opinion about it. So I would rather just some color thrown in there.
Yeah. It's like remarkably unremarkable.
There you go. And the Buccaneers fans are going to come yell at us because we didn't immediately say it was amazing, I guess. I don't know. Paul, that's it for YouTube comments. You guys came through fantastically this week. So thank you very much. I am a little, not one of you said happy birthday, but that's okay. You can get me next week.
I bet you that you'll get a lot of happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday to Chris.
I'm feeling sad. There's a little.
And what Chris would like for his birthday is for you to go onto Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars and a review, which will help us spread the word about this podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Sure. And cold hard cash, tens and 20s.
Oh, and no, what about loonies and toonies?
Freedom coins, American Americoonies, and I don't know. We'll wait to find out what the new names of those coins are in next week's social media account. Paul, because you got to go, I think we're just going to wrap this up with you closing things up with your minor league minute. Paul, are you ready? Okay, good. It's time for Paul Caputo's Minor League Baseball Minute with Paul Caputo, starring Paul Caputo, sponsored by Paul Caputo. Go, Paul Caputo, go.
It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo.
I'm quoting all over the place here. Chris, the High A Rome Braves rebranded a couple of years ago as the Rome Emperors. Rome obviously is a city famous for its emperors, the Augustuses, the Claudiuses, the Tiberiuses of the world. And so, of course, when the Rome Braves rebranded as the Rome Emperors, what did they do? They went with an emperor penguin. They've got 2 logos. One is the pontificating penguin, like ancient Rome style, and the other is a penguin with a toga with a bat on his shoulder. Rome, Georgia shares with Rome, Italy, that they both have 7 hills, which is why Rome is called Rome in both Georgia and Italy. The nickname has been very well received in these last couple of years. They've got some great typography that evokes Roman architecture, in particular the Roman columns, and a little detail that they have in their primary logo is a little pattern that looks like it just belongs on the bottom of like the base of a Roman column or something, but it is actually the repeating letters G and A for Georgia over and over again. They're called the Rome Emperors because Rome has emperors, and their logo is a penguin because of emperor penguins. That's a really fun minor league brand, and that is your minor league minute.
Fantastic. I like when, you pay tribute to some sort of culture and you mix it all together. I got the thesaurus out. I don't know if it's is it a loan word or a calc? When you borrow words from another culture, you put it all together. I don't know.
I think that's just language.
It's not a portmanteau. I know that. Paul, we have to apologize. By the way, emperor penguins are adorable, and I love that there's a
they sure
logo,
are.
and they all wear like togas and stuff, and this is fantastic. Let's just get that out of the way. Paul's got to go catch a flight, so we're going to let him go, which means we're going to have to apologize to a couple of Islanders this week.
Yeah.
Both the Bridgeport Islanders and the New York Islanders. So I'm sorry we couldn't get to both of your stories.
We are legitimately, no joke, out of time.
Out of time. Anyways, happy episode 26. Safe travels to you, Paul. And we will be back next week when I will be a whole year older.
Happy birthday to you, Chris, on August 26th and episode 26. Chase Utley, Wade Boggs.
Okay, that'll do.